Hey guys, we're gonna be doing this last major piece for the hood. This last piece is actually contorted. It's not just straight across. Once we get that piece done, we've got a couple holes to fill on the side, and there is one section with rust on this driver's side. So that's it, we're gonna get on it. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright guys, so I had this clamped down all night last night. It looks like it kind of met the shape ever so slightly, but not enough. I've made a mark here in my sort of the center point where I can tell on here where I need to start making the transition down. I'm going to try to figure out what I think is going to be the best way to take this section and bend it this way. I've been debating between cutting on the top or on the bottom, and I'm sort of leaning now towards putting just a single slice right down, here, not like a pie cut, just a single cut, and then seeing if that allows me to get the flex out of it. Alright guys, here it is, check it out. So after doing a bunch of bending and reworking and some grinding and all of those things, I'm pretty actually satisfied with where it is. Sorry about the saws in the background, there's two houses being built near me. I've got a couple little areas where I need to press down and get those all the way into position, but generally speaking, I'm really satisfied. I think doing the slice right here in the middle was perfect because there's a nice kind of curve right here, and then it also curves back down, so comes down this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack in over here and work my way across here because this is a little bit high as well, and then work my way to here and get that flush. Alright guys, I'm a little bit bummed, I'll be honest. These are two of my replacement panels, and right here and right here, and yesterday when I finished up this one, I came over to this side, I saw a little tiny hole, so I took my hammer and I just sort of tapped it to see what it would do with the sort of the pick end of it, and a little hole popped in. And then when I was trying to even out the surface of it, I noticed sort of up here at the ridge, it actually kind of folded in, which is a huge bummer. Just that tells me that the material in here is really bad. So I'm not gonna cry about it anymore. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut out probably about 1.5 inches, maybe down from each, or down each side on the ridge here, and replace that piece. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take my grinder and I'm gonna grind from the material side that I wanna get rid of, because I don't care if I grind through it, and find my nice edge of my new material and go from there. I don't know if that's the right way to do, but it seems like if I get, burn off the old material looking for the new material, it makes more sense. Alright gang, I'm trying to figure out what my plan of attack is for this hole. As you can see, let's see if I have something to give you guys a reference point. Alright, this is gigantic. If you know how big that is, you know how big that is now. My intuition is telling me I should probably cut out a piece for that. My practical side is saying that I'll probably end up having to replace more of this, and I don't want to do that. That just seems so big. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some welds on the top here and see if I can build up a little starting point. That feels like a little bit of progress. It went straight in. Well, as you can imagine, I am super excited. Not. This piece, I look down here and I see this. And this dent is original. I mean, original. I didn't do it. This was filled in with, this entire thing was filled in with Bondo, and I've cleaned it out. Here's just a big hole. I tried to shoot a weld just like right into this little space right here, and it just blew out. So I'm thinking it's going to continue to do that. I was trying to I want to leave this because I think it's just kind of cool in a weird way. Well, all right, me hearties, here we are. I'm going to do this. Watch. So again, this was the dent that was already here, and I cut out that piece and filled that in, and honestly, I'm not too disappointed. So I think we are literally at a very, very, very tail end. I keep saying this, but it keeps proving me wrong. So the one piece I know I have left is right here. I'm gonna cut that bad boy out, and then there's the 2 holes from the old trim. There's 2 on the other side as well. We have 2 holes left, 1 and 2. Going to be using this copper backing to fill the hole, hopefully. Trying to get a good angle for y'all. Wow. Alright guys, well as you can see, this hole, I was just trying to do it while I was filming, and it did not work. I am not clear why it didn't work for me, but I'm just going to press on forward and do it again and see if we can get a better result. By George, I think we've got it, at least for that one. Hopefully that is all filled up and fixed again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the last hole on the hood. I still have a few more on the truck. Alright guys, let's go dig in and check that out. There are the last 2 holes filled. Well, there you go. Last 2 done. I'm thrilled. I'm gonna paint it and we're gonna move on. We've got the section in the back here. When I flip this over, you'll see where the crack is, but in terms of the rest of this, look at that. That's not so bad for a rookie. Yeah, I can't wait. And that little piece I put in the center there, or that little cutout, came out pretty decent. So, alright guys, the landscaper's here. It's time to go. Hey guys, alright, well I was just going to put some tools away, but let's take a moment here and just catch up, and I'll talk to you really quickly about working with the rattle can and my experience. And again, I'm never a professional, and I know I don't do everything right, but I just, through my own experiences, I've done things, and painting is one of the things I have done a bit of. Right here is a good example of a mistake I made. I just had a little bit catch up on the nozzle and it dripped on it. But when I'm doing my spraying, one of the things that I have learned the hard way, I promise you, is to turn off the fan before you start. No, actually I always have a fan on, have my windows open. I've got to have lots of ventilation. You have to breathe. 90% of the time I wear a mask. If I have a good ventilation going and I know it's not around me, I don't stress too much, but I would always say wear a mask. Is probably just the best thing to do. Anyhow, one of the things that I really focus on when I'm spraying is to use very light layers. I will go over it just the same way I do in fitting a piece. If I have to spray over this 10 times with the rattle can to ensure that I don't get a big glob, then that's what I do. And even though I don't have my fan on and everything going right now, I'll just do a quick shot so I can show you. So get a good shake on it. And the other thing is about keeping even distance and an even flow. So, you know, keep it nice and smooth. I used to spray for furniture. I made log furniture out in Colorado. And I used to get to use awesome lacquer and lacquer thinner, because in Colorado the rules are a lot different than in California. Anyhow, one of the things I really learned is, boy, you can really overspray in a heartbeat. So take your time. Just little back. Every time I go over it, I see the spots that, you know, like I'm obviously kind of aiming for areas that I see I have missed in the past of going over it. But this isn't the finish. So I don't want to stress too much, but what I do want to do is get good even coverage. And then I'll sand this down just a little bit, probably 400 grit, just to get it nice and smooth. And you know, the other thing is I'm going to be doing an etch primer on here because I want to get rid of as many of the scratches and things that I can. So I want to be able to sand it out a little bit, because I'm not going to Bondo the entire vehicle. So anyways, that's a quick look. Nice and even